Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing some Railroad Empire. We've gotten through chapter 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to be working on chapter 4 today. This is 1860, and apparently, I guess it's the Civil War. My history needs to get a little bit of a update. It was right around the mid 1800s, but let's read this here. Decision, Transcontinental Railway, connect Western, yada, 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 yada. Okay, cool beans. Cool. So I start in pause mode manual. I cheat. Now it gives me a lesser score, as it says, but I like the ability to hit pause. This is a crutch, obviously, but it really helps me be able to plan out whole networks and do things like that. And literally, you know, in one day, everything is built and things like that. So it allows me to just, you know, build a bunch of stuff, set up railways, get a bunch of money, and kind of do things and pause at moments. When you do it normal, I ended up using the build menu as a crutch to pause. And Trainiac it never pauses unless the newspapers or personal offers are shown. So very rarely. That's very difficult. So I play on manual. Rail network here, this explains how the trains explore down the track. Realistic is they will search one chunk ahead. We'll go through this later and stop if there will be a collision. Normal is basically trains are intangible, so you can actually move right through each other. And then you have normal AI. What that is you have realistic, so you have to build signals to keep traffic jams from happening, but the AI is normal, so they are intangible, so they can go through each other. So that is another difficulty setting as well. So I play on realistic and manual for kind of a standard middle of the road with a little bit of a crutch to be able to pause when wanted. So let's see what this is about. You can never change this. Oh wait, I can now. Yeah, no, we're gonna change this. Chronic Enigma, and it won't let me change the name of the railroad, but that sounds really not a real name. So Oganof Long. Hey, Oganof. Shush.
In recent years, the tensions between the northern and southern states have been steadily increasing. A deep rift ran along economical, political, and ideological divides, right through the still young nation. The tone in both camps became increasingly bitter and drew a gloomy picture in which a greedy, cold-hearted North opposed a lazy, vicious South. The Union was on the brink of civil war. All eyes were on the events of the coming months.
My name is Jay Cook. I'm delighted to finally meet you. Now, I'm afraid there's a war ahead, a dispute we cannot escape. I will help President Lincoln to save the Union, and I have a very important strategic role in mind for you. I am firmly convinced that Lincoln will put a quick end to the conflict between the northern and southern states. But we must be prepared for everything. So, you must take your tasks very seriously. First of all, the Southerners need to realize that it would be wrong to bring the Union into question. For this reason, you should tend to Louisville and construct a weapons factory there. In this way, we'll have a good support near the border if the worst comes to the worst.
First thing I do is I pause the game. That's my crutch right there. I'd like to analyze the situation. I like to see what's going on. So the first thing that I always do is I check my task list by 1861. One of the key things in this game that I may have explained before is that you have tasks that are time-based. That's one of the things that took a while for me to get used to, is I was just treating this as more of a sandbox, and, you know, time didn't really matter, but it does. So you need to reach your tasks by a particular time. So we need to support the arms industry. We need to get a population of 60,000 in Louisville. Produce one load of weapons. of weapons. Population is usually easy to increase. We'll take a look at our city here, and the inhabitants are 53,000. So we need to get to 60. So we only need to increase it by a little bit. Now, the easiest way to do that is to provide services and transportation to the city. You can figure out what their immediate needs for transportation of people and mail. Come over here to Express Goods, you click that. This will show their top destinations of where they want to send passengers per week and where they want to send mail per week. And this is how much is actually being serviced by you. So as of right now, we need to definitely get Indianapolis taken care of and Nashville as kind of our two tops. But just thinking as far as a way to get this to grow is to grow their transportation network. Second thing to do is increase their growth through their factories. So as we can see, they have a chemical factory that's most likely to produce gunpowder of some kind for this tutorial. So the chemical factory needs coal, and then if it's provided coal, it will produce chemicals. You can see your overall goods in the middle here, chemicals for export, so we've got chemicals to produce. Now, our task is to produce a weapons factory, so we're going to hit the plus sign here. We're going to go to industries, and then we're going to come down to a weapons industry. It's going to show up all these places where you can place it. It doesn't really matter. There's no, if I place it here, you know, the transportation increases or anything like that. It's just place it aesthetically where you want. One of the things I like about this game is the level of detail on the micro level and the macro level is pretty crazy. I dig it. So we're paused. We don't have to worry about our time. We'll come back and we will click on our weapons industry that we just built. We need lumber, iron, and chemicals. So we're getting our chemicals from our own city. The raw goods that we need to import into Louisville to keep our industry going is coal, lumber, and iron. Now, iron is a resource that you gather from the map that your trains can gather, and coal is a resource as well that can be gathered. Now, lumber is a secondary resource. You take the lumber, or I'm sorry, yeah, you take the timber that is created on the map, and then you need a factory to make that into lumber. So as of right now, we have no way to get lumber in here. We need to find a way to get lumber in here. Now, you could build a factory of yourself, but as we see, we need 90,000 people, and we can't do that. So let's take a look around the map of what can produce our lumber for us. What other cities have factories in them? What do we got? So we've got St. Louis. What do you do? St. Louis takes cattle and they make leather and steak. They take cotton and they make cloth. This does not help me. I need lumber. Indianapolis. Okay, so they need wood to make lumber. So this is our ticket to getting lumber into our city. Indianapolis is our key to getting lumber into Louisville. So we need to hook Indianapolis up to some wood. So let's find some wood around the map. And we've got wood right here. Perfect. So we can actually just have him hop on right to Indianapolis. So first you trace back all the way until you figure out where your core need is to get started. And for me, that's wood. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate you checking out the video. Next episode, we're going to cover actually setting up our rail network, adding our trains, and all of that stuff. If you thought this was good, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you didn't, leave me a thumbs down and a comment, and I'd love to learn more. Thanks, and have a great day.